And there goes the countdown by 40 Watt. And as soon as the stream catches up, we are underway with game number 1.
Keeping the lane shooting tight, using that razor shield to take out the bottom beautifully. Both of them at the door at 35 seconds, basically.
Yep, a high 39 and a 41 second for Billick. So 2-second hole shot for Tapatioj going into collect power-ups. Do we keep the trend going? Just say no orb for either of these racers.
Yeah, I mean, it's really weird. It seems that no racer has got an orb yet. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's something called an orb. I mean, you use it for a ball buster later. I mean, it doubles your firepower. Tapatioj is riding the power-up train right now. Billick not getting the same thing because he's got rockets, spreaders, more rockets, and yeah, Billick doesn't get power-ups, so he gets the one that matters. He gets that orb before Tapatioj, but those power-ups were crazy good for Tapatioj. He's out with a 120. That is a very good time.
Yeah, 120 is definitely sub-6 territory just from the beginning. Billick walking out 10 seconds behind at 130.
But it all depends on control and eat my shrapnel, because Tapatioj still does not have that orb, and with that orb in Billick's side, he can keep control of the room a little bit more efficient than Tapatioj can. So definitely gonna, expect some better power-ups for Tapatioj here. A key is not gonna do it.
Now, I'm gonna say this: I like what I see from Billick's side. Billick's kind of playing like someone who's been playing for a while. I don't know something about the movements and the way the room control's going. I like it.
Yeah, I remember Bryce biting me in the butt a little bit about that move, but he unfortunately loses his orb as he had kind of let the shrapnels, build up a little bit there.
Taps now coming in with rockets, clearing out the alleyways like nothing.
Yeah, what I wanted to say was, with Billick's little strategy there, he actually was causing the foot soldiers to move a little bit out of line. So that's why you kind of want to stick to the center of Eat My Shrapnel there.
And as you're saying that, Taps gets his orb, Billick gets a replacement, so this is kind of an even match now, folks.
So it's all about the power-ups. Like Tapatioj, I mean, he gets an orb, he gets key after key, and Billick's getting in spreaders, and I think he lost his orb.
Yeah, he lost his orb. He got bum rushed. I will say, though, he somehow did some crazy dancing and killed 2 foot soldiers before that orb was taken with the shield itself.
Tapatioj doing a great job holding the center there. He is becoming the key master. He has gotten 3 in this one room game. How rude can you be? There is no pleasure dome in easy percent.
Just call Gozer. So now we have Billick just cleaning up the end of the room here. This is what happens. You get a little squirrely around it. People start chasing you. It forms a weird mob in the middle. That's why you always want to control that middle. It's a lot easier said than done, though, without an orb.
So about 330 into tank trouble for Tapatioj. That invulnerability is a nice pickup as it kind of makes you immune to the turret gunners, but he's definitely going to want to hope for something. Those rockets will definitely do it here, get rid of those gunners. Now it's all about getting control of the center. A 346 entry into the secret room for Billick.
And people pay attention to what Taps just did. A lot of people don't do this. If you lose control of the center, there's no shame in pulling into a corner to eliminate 2 avenues of attack, clean everything up, and then move back in. It keeps your orb, it keeps you alive, it keeps you moving.
Yeah, just remember, though, this room is the same spawn rate as one of the rooms in Arena 3, which is the most difficult arena of the entire game. But you don't see that, unfortunately, easy percent, as it's a normal and hard only.
So just keep that in mind, folks. What you're seeing right now is basically the speed of the rest of the game.
Yeah, but the thing about Arena 2 is it's all gimmicky, so it's a little different in that part of it.
Yeah, Arena 2 is definitely the odd man out. Billick, unfortunately, getting trapped in a corner, getting clobbered with some bullets from the wall gunner, losing the life and the orb. Tapatioj with the first drop spreader.
I think he was just in a bad positioning for it. Unfortunately, he gets gunned down while trying to do the spreader exploit, so a big loss there for him. He had everything going for him just at that moment.
Yeah, I think he hesitated. Like, one moment he was like, take the death. The very next moment he wasn't. And then just that much of a hesitation can cost you. You just got to commit to one strategy or the other.
Yeah, it was a good move on him to not take it after he had hesitated, but just unfortunately, just not a proper execution of said strategy.
So Tap's already down an arm on Mutoid Man. Meanwhile, Billick's still trying to clean up tank trouble here.
Yeah, his drops have just not been very pleasant for him. He's going to get in there, but he he's still not very far behind Tapatioj. He's still within one spreader difference here.
Yeah, one good spreader in the right place at the right time, you can pop 2 forms easy. So yeah, he's still literally a drop behind.
It's like Taps, meanwhile, is just kind of riding, grenades, rockets, and he's not getting a whole lot. And there, as I say that, he's getting a spreader. Hopefully, he doesn't get
Oh,
blocked.
perfect for Billick right here.
So Billick's going to get the spreader exploit damage here, but I think it's just a little too late, unfortunately. Unless he maybe gets another one and Tapatioj starts getting dead drops after dead drop after dead drop. But I just
One,
don't know. Like, being 4 forms back, that's kind of a little late for me.
yeah, especially sitting at 0 lives on Billick's side, so that's going to be like another 4 to 6 seconds of penalty taken to continue for a spreader. Kind of almost negates getting the spreader.
Yeah, meanwhile, Tapatioj using those lobbers, he's doing a really good job of that. He's done. He's going to get about maybe a 634, 635 going out of this one. Yep, there it is, the 635. You see, that's what Tetsuo got last game, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's
Kinda,
what I would say. If you can play at a 630 average, you will be competitive in the tournament.
just think, at the beginning of this tournament, before we had all these PV spikes and stuff, Tetsuo actually had a time around Tapatioj's time, so they're about in the same skill range, just about 2 seeds difference of those two. So
Yeah, one thing that Taps probably has a slight advantage on, at least comparing to Tetsuo, is just time. He has the knowledge, a little bit more experience.
yeah, Tapatioj has been here since the 3rd annual tournament, I believe.
Second.
Oh, the 2nd, yeah, because we were doing group plays. Yeah, that's right. I was in the final dance, and he didn't get out of the group stages, so I never played him. In fact, after 4 tournaments that I've participated, I slightly participated in 3, but I wouldn't say I participated because the only player I played was you, 40 Watt, and you sent me with my tail between my legs and stuff because I lost that 3-1. So
That was an odd year, too. That was like the one year we did some other format for this race, at least at the beginning.
Billick is gonna take the Mutoid down there. I think he's gonna slightly miss the sub 8 here, so about an 802, 801. Yeah, an 801 there. So GG's to both players. Tapatioj taking the first match. So 1-0 lead for him. In 6:35 time, that's a very good race time, I'd say. That'll win you most matches. But, we said that last year, and I don't think that holds the same water this year because the competition, as we've stated several times, is stacked. So a 6:35 might be a good race time, but it will not always win you a race.
Yeah, and I mean, as we get further into races, people will see that, sometimes a sub 6 won't even guarantee you winning.
Yeah, we had that happen last year. We didn't have any sub 6 losers till much later when it was CHX versus Brysolf, but it's just, I think this can happen a lot more this year given our talent. We have 26 total sub 6 people. I think half of the contestants, I think was it 18 total in this tournament, have a sub 6 time on the leaderboard.
Yeah, so literally just over half of the people. And what's crazy is to think of how many other people that had joined and dropped. That was like another 4 sub 6 people, basically.
Yeah, we had Jacquemus Wedge have to drop, unfortunately, but in his place, I mean, it wasn't directly in his place, but we had Skunky48 joining the group this year. He had a sub 6 time as a replacement for somebody else who dropped. I think it was Dark Lord Gonzo.
Yeah, myself, Dark Lord Gonzo, and Jack had to drop pretty much last minute.
All right, so I think our racers are ready at 40 wide. I think we're going to go ahead and count them in, and we can get going with game number 2. So I'm going to give my prediction for this one. I think Billick is going to take this round. I just kind of want something to stir up the 3-0s that we've had. I don't want another sweep. I mean, it's like there's some good stuff that you can see in the sweeps. I mean, obviously, it's over quickly. You don't play nearly as many games, but I mean, I want something interesting. I want some competition. I want something to change. So let's go ahead and go with Billick. Hopefully he will take this round for Tapatioj and stir that up a little bit.
Yeah, I would love to see at least some back and forth tonight. And they're off!
It's like as expected from both racers. They're most likely going to do our razor shield manipulation. It's something to note that this is the only thing we know how to manipulate in this game. It just goes from the cutscene and well, Tapatioj actually does a different manipulation here. His is emulator specific, I think, to SNES 9X, which I think is what he uses. But yeah, if you go on the cutscene at a specific time, by that I mean it's when it starts or when the players are moving up and right. If you hit start there, that's how you get the manipulation to start right on top of you. Whereas Tapatioj's is just start the emulator and there you go.
Yeah, there's been some other manipulations found that are not consistent, but they're also not helpful in any way. So,
So as typical from Tapatioj, his first drop is a foot. He is the king of those drops because as he gets another foot.
2 feet on Billick's side as well, so at least everything's evened up.
Well, Billick had rockets to start the room, though. It's his advantage, Billick, right now. Jay is forcing drops. He is grabbing grenades. He is forcing for that orb, which Billick has over him. And yet he gets a third foot in this room. That is incredibly bad.
Billick coming out at a 124,
And
very respectable time.
And another foot for Tapatioj. This is just insanely bad, but it is so Tapatioj right now.
There's something weird about the drop pattern in that room. I think I've gotten 7 feet in a row in that room before. Something crazy.
Now, Tapatioj definitely has to have some better drops, but Billick right now is riding that train, and he was about 10 seconds, I think, ahead of Tapatioj going into this room.
Yeah, just about. And he has that orb, and he's making good use of it. He's controlling the center of Eat My Shrapnel here. So, no more foot soldiers.
Tapatioj is using those rockets. If he uses it efficiently, this should take him to the end of the room. Mitigate a little time loss. It's not going to take too much away from it. There's that orb. Okay, so we got a little bit of a lead for Billick, but efficient fire and all that stuff definitely going to change the tide of this one.
Billick again being very impressive with just his in and out of the center, cleaning up the center, and keeping it held down. Very impressed for someone that's pretty new to this board.
They need a razor shield here for one of these racers. Just kind of keep center control. It looks like both racers are doing a very good job of that. Billick getting a little better power-ups than Tapatioj right now. I don't agree with that nuke usage there. I didn't think there was enough soldiers on the field for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have done it personally, but if it's, better safe than sorry in some situations, I would say.
Yeah, Tapatioj got a spreader. That's the only noteworthy thing he's got. And there's that razor shield. And I think it's still about midway through the room, so it'll definitely be some good damage here.
Yeah, Billick losing the orb and then taking a death. So now with this orb that Taps has, definitely in the rockets, time to play catch up a little bit.
Yeah, at this point in the room, I actually would have tried to be more aggressive with that razor shield. So Tapatioj is going to take the lead here.
Yeah, razor shield is actually my favorite weapon. I love having a razor shield and just plowing into the groups. I don't know what it is.
No, and Billick gets clubbed down by the last foot
on the last one.
Oh no, but a 335 entry. We still have just enough time for a Taco Bell product placement. Taco Bell.
Ugh. Yeah, as Bryce off pointing out, the rookie move, just rushing the door a little too early.
Yeah, Tapatioj having rockets to start this room. He was set up to basically take control immediately. And
More rockets.
More rockets, more vitamin R, just to complete, and a foot. How many is that? So I think he's had at least 10 of those drops in this one run. It's just incredibly bad. But I mean, it doesn't hurt him that much just because it was like near the center. He didn't have to go very far to get it. After those rockets, this room was just being very, very not nice to him.
Unfortunately, taking a death, losing the orb there too.
And now it's just invulnerability, typical tank trouble trash drops, as LOC likes to say. And I think he hesitated on that grenade drop. It's just he had no invulnerability when he took a death on that mine.
All right. Grabs the foot on his way out for some reason. 442.
He just likes to grab those feet. Incredible. God. It's like he's listening to us right now talking about how much feet he's grabbed.
Grabs the grenades, takes a death. Let's hope it's a spreader. It is more grenades.
Just grenade and grenade, yeah. Billick still not out of this yet. It just the drops are they're not good for Tapatioj, but he's going to have a lobber that'll kind of separate him. But he is only a form behind just now getting into the Mutoid Man. So again, one spreader is going to put Billick ahead of Tapatioj. Just the drops have not favored him so far.
Yeah, it shows you that, no matter, a lot of people can pick up the game quick, but Tank Trouble really shows you sometimes, well, a lot of times, the people who are experienced with the game versus the people that are kind of new with it.
Ooh, and unfortunately, Billick's first drop got eaten up by the Mutoid Man there.
Tap's also getting killed and being prevented from taking the lobbers. Now has rockets.
Ooh, Billick unfortunately taking a death, did not get any damage on the Mutoid Man, really.
So we have Taps with both arms knocked off. Billick with the first phase still. Taps now popping the chest open. As he's just pounding with lobbers.
There's a spreader for Billick. He could definitely close the gap here with that one. Tapatioj got a dead drop, but it didn't matter because he still had the lobbers there. Billick doing 2 forms of damage with that spread. 3 a glitch toy.
Glitch toy. Hell yeah.
Unfortunately, that spreader that was there just, he didn't notice it, but it wasn't exactly something he could have prepared for because it was already disappearing when he died. Just, yeah. Good stuff though on that one spreader there, getting the glitch toy. He took 3 forms of damage on that one spreader, so good for him on that one. Tapatioj out at 641 there. So Billick is not too far behind. It's still a really good time for him.
Yeah, I mean, really, it was Tank Trouble was kind of the deciding factor in this one. They both had pretty decent Mutoid Mans, but yeah, just Taps pulled clean ahead in Tank Trouble.
So just gonna let Billick finish this one out. Lobbers are in a mass quantity supply for him, it seems like.
Unfortunately, he landed a number of them right between the tank treads in the front, and oddly enough, there's actually not a hitbox there.
Yeah, that's weird because you can also walk in between those treads as well and not die. Just it's a very small gap, very small gap.
There we go, popping the head at 730. That should put him around 742 walking out the door. And 742 GG's. That is 3-0 Tapatioj taking that one. That is 3 clean sweeps tonight, folks.
That was only game 2, I thought.
Oh, was that game? Oh, was that game 2? Never mind. Yeah. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, just getting a little too ahead of yourself, 40 Watt. That's only game number 2 of this best of 5 here.
Dino's quick with the keys, man.
Yep, the keys. Yeah, I think he put it up instantly once Tapatioj actually walked out the door. So, yeah, he was very, very quick on that one. But yeah, it's only game number 2. We're going into game number 3 with a match point for Tapatioj going into the game number 3 of match number 3. So again, with this matchup, we don't know who is going to face who when it comes to winning or losing, but we can tell you who is waiting for whoever wins or loses. So the winner of this race is going to face the winner of RNGesus 0 and Joey Mittens. This match is going to be decided on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So I don't remember if we have a match tomorrow or not. I think we're going to take a break on Wednesday, but we might have one. I'm not 100% on that one. We do have a schedule, so let me go ahead and look that up really quick, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, if anyone is interested, there is the challenge website. I think it's challenge.com/SmashTV6 or something. I don't know. We should know this kind of stuff. But that has all of the matchups, the bracket, who wins, what time they will be, what day, all that good stuff.
Okay, so we do have a matchup tomorrow. We have Sigma Fan versus Ito87 at 6 p.m. Eastern time for that one. And on Thursday, we have a three block with that one, including the match I just mentioned of RNGesus versus Joey Mittens.
They have been given the go-ahead, so we should see them taken off shortly. No problems, Johnny Link. Thanks for trying to shoot that link out to us. So I think we might still be on the delay from the sync up earlier because I gave him the go ahead. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Yep, it looks like it. On match point for Tapatioj. So the manipulation, the same for both racers. I mean, the thing about the manipulation for Tapatioj, I mean, I think Space Colonizer actually called me out on it when I said it. I don't think it's the same for every single emulator. I just know that before I jumped to console using my SD2 SNES, I used emulator SNES 9X because it's the only globally recognized for racing and stuff. Because like emulators like ZSNES are banned. So Tapatioj out with a 40 and Billick out with a 42.
Yeah, for some reason it is only SNES 9X that puts it at the bottom. It just doesn't initiate the initial RNG the same way or something like that.
So we've got rockets for Billick and spreader for Tapatioj. I'd much rather have the rockets, but the spreader does do some damage. It just, I think Jackamus Wedge was saying that you can do better like with the pea shooter, just more precise damage and stuff. The spreader, you can hit 2 at a time, but yeah, I think it's more efficient to have rockets.
Yeah, I believe Brysoff calls spreaders the poor man's rockets.
And Billick is the first to strike with the orb, but Tapatioj, using his power-ups to his advantage, is going to get out to 125. Mr. Billick is unfortunately having a little issue with these shrapnels. It's going to take a little bit of a time penalty, getting out at 132.
Ooh, Tap's getting clubbed on the initial start of the room, just moving a little bit too quickly.
And, of course, the feet drop for both players. It gets a rocket. It's like he gets bailed out again in this room. He just doesn't have his orb anymore, but it's like the rockets is a good substitute for when you don't have the orb, just because of how many foot soldiers you can kill with. Unfortunately gets sabotaged with a grenade on the feet.
Yeah, especially when you have a razor shield. The grenade's range is basically that of the middle of the razor shield. So
Tapatioj doing a great job in that room with what he was given. So unfortunately, if he doesn't get an orb replacement, Billick is going to take the lead from him in this room.
Yeah, Billick made up some time there on that split, so just played a little clean. Oh, get a spreader, so easily clean out the room with that. Another spreader on the feet for Billick again. Another spreader.
Tapatioj matrix moved on one of those foot soldiers by getting the razor shield right when that happened. He was maybe about 2 frames from getting clubbed down on the top right.
So Taps now, they both got an orb. Taps with the razor shield. They're just controlling the center. Both electing to use the nukes to clean up the room. Taps electing to use another one.
Nuke on the feet. Unfortunately, I don't think he was expecting that because I saw him shrug his face on that one. So definitely was not expecting that one. Didn't want it. Yeah, this is interesting just seeing the webcams of both our racers. You can kind of see their body language on how the run's going and stuff like that. Like you saw me get clubbed in the first, on collect power-ups on Sunday, and I just laughed because I was just so, it's like, God dang it, how did that happen to me of all people?
So 316 entry into the secret room for Taps, 323-24 for Billick.
And that is good for, I'll let you do this one.
Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell.
So no power-ups for Tapatioj here. Billick does have a spreader going into tank trouble here, so you can use that to, you could probably use it to take the turrets out, or he could try to gain control. There's a rocket. He probably want to replace it quickly and get those gunners immediately. But it's like Tapatioj still has that orb, and unfortunately not control the center. Billick has his rockets. He's going to get that orb to replace it.
Yeah, Taps had to bail out to the bottom right corner to survive, and unfortunately he just got trapped there till just now. Luckily getting a nuke, clearing it out, back in the center, holding it down as Billick loses the orb and cleans out his rockets.
Ooh, he was about probably a second from having full control of the center because he had those rockets with the orb. Just just a little too late on that one to get control. So unfortunate for him.
Tap's finishing up the room now, making easy use of that orb.
It's like a ball buster opportunity for Tapatioj. Billick is going to ride these rockets probably to the end of the room because it's very late into it. He's not too far behind. Still, once more, a spreader away, but that ball buster potential for Tapatioj is like still going to put him ahead a little bit.
Always got to watch out for Mutoid Man's arm.
Yeah, contrary to what you might think about Mutoid Man, his arms are a hitbox when you're hitting him, so
Yeah, it's odd. You can go under him, but like you can't hit the orb will hit it. So I don't know.
yeah, unfortunately, Tapatioj does not get the ball buster there, but he's still riding these power ups a little bit with the lobbers. It's like doing some good damage. He's one form ahead, Billick right now. Billick is hitting that sweet spot right now with that lobber. So get more lobbers for Billick if he will go for it. I don't think he will, just because the ammo clip is still. Oh, unfortunate. But
Yeah.
key drop.
Tap with a great spreader location with everything that's going on. Yeah, even Mutoid Man coming down to him.
Yeah, a little late for the sub 6, unfortunately, for Tapatioj, but that spreader is going to basically seal his victory, I'd say, unless the power-ups just completely tank on him, literally.
I like
Like
what
he's
Taps did there too. His invulnerability ran out and he knew that mine was there. So if you saw, I don't know if people saw a little thing, he was dancing around that mine while trying to manual Mutoid as well.
it's like Billick needs a spreader right now, as Tapatioj is on the final form of Mutoid Man. I don't think it's going to happen. Luck has just not been on his side this whole entire night.
Yeah, things would have to go really wrong or really right or both.
Like key drops, and there's a key on Tapatioj's side, but unfortunately, it's not going to make a dent in anything because that lobber is going to finish off the race. He is going to take the match 3-0. Billick is going to go down to the second chance bracket, awaiting the loser of Akrasi versus, of RN Jesus 0 and Joey Mittens, whereas Tapatio J is going to be waiting for the winner of that race. And we will again find that out on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It is the second match of our little 3-match block on Thursday.
So that's 3 of our 4 races. We have CHX versus who coming up next?
CHX versus Ramble Rick.
Ramble Rick, that is correct. For those
It's
of you that don't know, CHX is the number 2 seed. He's right on Brysoff's heels for world records on pretty much every category, as well as recently taking the turbo categories.